In today's Leeds news, Leeds maintain Johnson interest, Gnonto price tag revealed, and Leeds to sell Jack Harrison. Hey folks, Joe here on Tuesday morning with Leeds United News. Hope you're having a great day so far. A win last night for Leeds against Middlesbrough. A nervy one, especially coming towards injury time, with Twitter having an absolute meltdown coming close to it. But we knew what happened. We're in that situation. Leeds picking this game to score 4 goals and throw the defensive solidity away at the same time. But performance at this stage, for me, don't matter anymore. It's about getting points on the board. You hope that this win will now reignite Leeds' form and give them 2 more wins in the next 2 matches to see us promoted automatically. It's crazy to think we're at this stage of the season now, 2 games left in the campaign, and promotion, the automatic spots, very much within our reach. Southampton and Leicester have to play during the week, so someone's dropping points there. Either Southampton fall out of the mix completely, or Leicester drop off and make the title push back in contention for Leeds or Ipswich as well. It's crazy to think, after everything that's happened over the last couple of weeks, the title could still be up for grabs depending on what happens in midweek. I personally see Leicester beating Southampton, but I've beaten wrong lots this season, and I'm okay if I'm wrong on this one as well and Leicester lose. But it's mad to think that the pressure will be back on Ipswich, but the title could still be up for grabs going into the second last game of the season. This league is nuts. Been nuts all season. The last couple of months have been absolutely crazy, but it's good. It's still there. We won our game. That's all that matters. We move on. 2 more games, 6 more points, hopefully beat QPR. Now the pressure is very much on Ipswich to win their games at hand to try and get back into the automatic space. Then 1 game left for Leeds against Southampton. There's a bit of news today floating around, not a huge amount of stuff, but we'll get into it, a lot of exit stuff. We'll start off with one story, and it's about an incoming player potentially. And according to the Sunday Mirror, Leeds United have maintained an interest in West Ham fullback come midfielder Ben Johnson. Leeds were said to be interested in the player in January, but weren't able to do a deal with West Ham at the time. West Ham and David Moyes were said to be keen on keeping the player at the club in January, and there was rumours of a contract being on the table for the player as well. That didn't come to fruition. Moyes wants to keep him, but it is said that the player himself sees his future elsewhere and is looking for a move away from the club. As I said, Johnson is out of contract in the summer, and the Sunday Mirror claims the Hammers want to hold on to him, but the player doesn't want to stay, with Crystal Palace, Ipswich and Southampton all being mentioned as being interested in the player as well. The report says that even if Leeds don't get promoted to the Premier League and remain in the Championship next season, he is a player that Daniel Farke has identified and wants Leeds to go out and purchase in the summer regardless. There are reports, and despite reports I should say, that Leeds United wants to keep Connor Roberts on a permanent deal in the summer. It's said in this report as well that Burnley expect the player to return in the summer, and they see him as an important part of their team next season as they return to the Championship and look to revitalise the team to try and push for a move back up until the Premier League. And Johnson himself, as I said, he can play fullback or he can play in midfield, and a free transfer will be a very appealing option for Leeds should they be able to convince the player to move to Yorkshire. Personal preference will be Connor Roberts, but I think regardless of what happens, Leeds will need to buy at least 1 right back in the summer, if not 2. Sam Byrne's injury history is there. He's a good secondary option if they can bring in a first choice right back. But given the options there, you want Archie Gray in midfield, we're all moving forward, so you will need cover in that position as well. So maybe 1, possibly 2 players needed to come in there for Leeds in the summer, but 1 to keep an eye on. But Leeds said to be maintaining an interest in the player since the winter window shut and keeping an eye on him. He has played a lot of midfield for West Ham. He's played a couple of games, not as much at right back, but is a decent player. And if West Ham are keen on keeping him, with the interest of Premier League clubs, if Palace are interested in him, that's got to be appealing. And then between Ipswich, Southampton and Leeds, I'd say it really depends on who gets promoted before a player decides which those clubs he's going for. Those 3 clubs will all be appealing. He's likely to play more games there than he is anywhere else. So we have to keep an eye on that one and see how it goes. But a right back is a position. I think a position will be linked with a lot of players coming into the summer as well. Most of them probably won't be true, but we'll keep an eye on it anyway. Moving on, let's talk about Wilfried Gnonto. And according to Team Talk, so we know the deal here, massive pinch of salt, but we'll go through it anyway. According to Team Talk, Leeds United have slapped a hefty price tag on the head of Wilfried Gnonto, who could leave Leeds this summer should they fail to get promoted. Rumours of a new contract being in the offering for Gnonto have been public. However, the lack of any formal announcement or contract being signed means the contract on offer is likely linked to Leeds getting promoted to the Premier League. Team Talk claimed that Leeds have slapped a £30 million price tag on the Italian international's head. and would see him as filling the gap amongst the losses that they're likely to make should they sell Brendan Aronson. Jack Harrison, also another player Leeds will be looking to sell in the summer, but more on that one in a minute. If Leeds don't go up, Gnonto could be the player that is used to offset some losses and avoid Leeds selling other players such as Chris Somerville and Jorginho Rutter or even Archie Gray. Gnonto himself has changed agencies recently and is said to be reasonably happy at Leeds at the moment, but that could change should Leeds not get promoted. The player obviously tried to get a move away from the club last summer and will want his international hopes to be maintained, therefore looking for a move away from Leeds, probably to the Premier League in the summer. However, that will depend on Leeds getting promoted or not. Should Leeds get promoted, a lot of this noise goes away. Leeds are unlikely to need to sell any players. Gnonto is likely to stay and has strengthened Leeds' hands with the sales of the likes of Mark Rocket, Brendan Aronson and all the loanees, removing their loan release clauses next season and putting Leeds in a position where they can sell these players to whoever they want to and not be forced to loan them back out to the clubs they're unknown at the moment. So promotion very much important for Leeds in that respect alone, let alone anything else. But Gnonto said to be happy at Leeds at the moment. Very good last night. That's all you want from the player. Keep playing football, keep doing your business on the park, and we'll see what happens in the summer. But we'll keep an eye on that one as well. And then finally tonight, moving into the story around Jack Harrison. This will be floating around for a while, but some more information came out today. According to an article in MSN, Leeds are happy to offload Jack Harrison in the summer should they be able to get a player and may use that money to avoid selling other stars in the team. Harrison started life on his loan at Everton in really, really good form at the start of the season, but similarities to his time at Leeds have crept in since then. Since the turn of the year, an inconsistent performance has seen Jack Harrison fall out of favour in the club and have to settle for a place on the bench and substitute appearances in recent weeks. Harrison has come in for strong criticism from portions of the Everton fan base as well, and we're all looked well when his mother had said publicly in front of a lot of Everton fans that he wasn't going back to Leeds and was staying at Everton. Those days seem behind Jack at the moment. The article claims that there may be a lack of interest in Jack Harrison, however, and Everton are unlikely to try and look to make the loan move a permanent one in the summer. Harrison's inconsistent form has been called out as the major reason for Everton's doubts around the player. Harrison has 6 goals and 3 assists so far this season for Everton, the bulk of those coming early in the season. John Dyke at that time as well was full of praise for the player, but it is said behind the scenes that has changed in recent weeks. If he is to move, Leeds are said to be looking for a fee of in between 15 and 20 million pounds for the player. But his current form might make it difficult for Leeds to find a permanent home for him. However, the report does say that Leeds have decided to move on from the player, and given Daniel Farke's comments in recent weeks about the loan players and reheating food in the microwave, it would appear that most of these loan players, if not all of them, won't have a place back at the club, and Leeds are actively looking and moving these players on a permanent basis and avoiding another season of loans. As we said before, it will all depend on Leeds promotion options. If Leeds get up, those loan release clauses go away. Leeds are in control. Rocket, Llorente, Christensen, Aronson, Harrison, Vober, all of those can then be sold to whoever Leeds decide they want to sell them to at that point, and takes the power out of their agents' hands and puts it very much back in Leeds' corner. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. We're going to hear an awful lot more about this towards the end of the season. And we'll see how it goes. We'll keep up to date. We'll see what is being said. But Harrison not playing particularly well. He was very inconsistent for Leeds last season. Like, he has these streaks. Like, start of the season, he does very well. End of the season, he tends to do quite well. And there's that bit in the middle where he really does split fan bases. And we saw that last season with Leeds. This time around, however, he hasn't picked up the form in the second half of the season where he did last year with Leeds. And the goals and assists have dried up, but also has his regular starting positions and now a regular on the bench. So we'll have to see what happens there. It'll be an awkward return after the comments from his mother that were caught publicly, and his comments as well about Leeds recently. It'll be an interesting one to see what happens there. Anyway, folks, that's going to be it for me today. Have a cracking rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of the week. Fingers crossed, Southampton beat Leicester, and then we beat QPR on Friday night, and then everything is to play for on the final day of the season. I will talk to you tomorrow morning. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you then.